Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871 chiming in with the next addition to the vlog. Today's topic is we're going to revisit the Civil Right Parasite. It's going to be Civil Right Parasite Part 2. Alright, I'm out on the balcony today. I got I put the canopy on the camping chair, getting some sunshine, some much needed sunshine. I don't know about you in your part of the world, but July was the most gloomiest, doomiest July I've ever seen in my life. Just overcast for days, man. Overcast for days. All right, fourth time starting this blog, and I'm just simply going to have to come to terms with the fact that I'm never going to be able to say it all, never going to be able to make you understand it all, and ultimately you're going to come away with your own impressions. So, oh well. All right, Civil Right Parasite. Today I want to talk about a particular ex-buddy of mine. I don't like to use the word friendship. I got my reasons. Anyway, this particular ex-buddy of mine, we used to be co-workers at a particular casino. We both lost our job at this casino for very different reasons. I think he had some sort of interpersonal thing, whatever. I myself lost it for, what else? Civil rights issues. So, I have long hair. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. I have long hair, and I guess you could say I did not fit the mold of the casino's professional male image. I cleaned up, this to their specifications. I could take my earrings out, that's fine, not a problem there. But I was not willing to cut my hair. I am not transgender. I don't come close to being transgender. I am gay. The reasons as to why my hair is long, that would be a very long metaphysical rant. Let's just say my sexuality, it is but a wedge on the wheel of why I have long hair. So I'm just going to have to leave it at that because it would just simply take too long to explain. There was a battle for civil rights. In other words, it's like the casino's position was, we hire gay people just as long as you don't look too gay. What were you to import that method of hiring and firing to other minorities? I myself am a light-complected black man. What if you were to fire all of the black people in the casino who were darker than me? You would then say what? No, we hire black people. Hey, we got total control over here. He's our black person. We don't mind hiring black people as long as you're not too black. So I was, long story short, I was too gay for them. So I lost my job for being too gay. Fast forward a good amount of years, we see where society has made progress. We see that transgender groups, although I am not transgender, we see transgender troops in the services now. Well, hell, I mean, Don't Ask, Don't Tell was lifted. Don't Ask, Don't Tell was lifted. Transgender troops are now serving. We're Donald Trump's. Okay, I'm not getting off into that because I'll just eat up too much time in memory. And also, what you may or may not have been paying attention to, police officers, in particular NYPD, their Sikh population, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, the Sikhs, they have full beards, turbans, and of course underneath the turban is long hair, done up in a bun. I have a bun in the back. I'll show you guys later, but alright, so point is progress being made. We are learning more and more that the rich white man's static mold of what is professional is not it is not the current thing anymore. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to eat up too much time here. I want to talk about my, I'll call him my bus driver buddy. Um, when he helped me move my tent and stuff into the woods, I got set up, sent him a text letting him know I got my gym membership. I'm able to take care of my hygiene, stuff like that. We ended up having this back and forth about how he thought I should also make use of the, cardio, the weights, stuff like this. Now, to his credit, now remember, we're talking about a heterosexual black man who is Muslim. Did I say that already? I don't know if I said it or not. But it's important that you know that about him because we're talking about civil rights parasites. And you need to know the person's demographic to know how the term applies to them particularly. What do you call it? So to his credit, black men, period, already have an issue with their own sexuality, if they themselves are gay, and a bunch of other stuff. So, but hey, progressive black man, and he's Muslim. I'm sure I don't got to tell you how the Muslim, whether they're radical Muslims or normal Muslims, neither group particularly are terribly fond of the LGBT community. Anyway, this guy, he never held it against me. Not directly, anyway. And the reason why I say that is how our friendship came to an end. A back and forth where basically he unburdened himself. He told me everything that he had been holding back over the years. How he thought that I was self-destructive. How I that truck's going by. How he thought that I self-destructive. How I give my employers a hard time, how, over the hair issue, over other civil rights issues, and more importantly, more to his point, was that the reason why I am poor, the reason why I am homeless, is because I never showed enough initiative in life. This is his point. That I always went for low-wage jobs, and that's why I have never had enough money to have an apartment and stuff like that. Now, of course, this is this is not true. For when he unleashed that on me, I had to take a moment and pause, because and he was also telling me how he faulted me for not taking him up on his offer to get me into his bus driving gig. And I had to pause for a moment, because I'm hold on a second here, let me because it had been such a long time since I had vetted the bus driving market, job market. And there were reasons. If I'm not a bus driver, trust me, there were reasons, and very good reasons, as to why not. So there was a volume of my life I had to pull off the shelf and dust off this volume of my life and go through it real quickly in my head before I could reply to him. And then I was like, oh, right. That's why the bus driving thing didn't work out for me. And the reason why it didn't work out for me can be seen in our individual terminations at this casino job. Although we both lost our jobs for very different reasons, it was roughly around the same time, maybe, within a few months of each other. When he lost his job, he has his parents that he can go back home to, you see. Although living with his parents while he was at the casino job. So this is somebody that got to live with their parents, save their money, and they didn't have to worry about these kinds of things, okay? He lost it. Now, I really can't remember a whole lot of details about how he lost his job, so I can't say if he was in the right or the wrong or the whatever. The point is that I'm making financial, economical points here. He didn't have to worry or stress about any of this stuff. He could collect unemployment at his leisure. He could pass over some jobs that were lower paying for maybe something better off that might be coming down the line, because after all, he gets to live with mommy and daddy, and not have to worry about paying rent. All of this shit is something that I don't have the pleasure of, okay? Um, when I am terminated, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't exactly lollygag on unemployment. The next gig that comes through, I'm jumping on it. Again, I'm a hard-working man, worked hard my entire life. So unemployment, it's a great safety net, but it's not something that I can lollygag on. So I have to take the next train leaving the station, the unemployment station, so to speak. I got to take the next train. I don't have mommy and daddy to give me safe harbor, until something better comes along. Also, the next job that he picked was school bus driver. School bus drivers pay very, very small wages, and it's always part-time work. The only reason people will, if you're not a retired mother, something like that, that's just looking for part-time work, people will use the school bus driving route to get into, city transit and stuff like that. And that's great and everything, but you have to have a support system in place, because while you're driving the school bus, you are not going to be making enough money to pay rent on an apartment. The shit ain't happening, okay? Quick side note, it's why there's so many school bus accidents, because their drivers, if they're not just retirees looking for extra cash, they're always working 2 or 3 other jobs, and they are gunning it, baby, to get to, they're desperate to unload the kids to get to the next job so that they won't be late, okay? That's why you have so many school bus accidents, why school buses are so dangerous. The job pays so low, and everybody has to have a second job, second source of income, second or third. Anyway, so that would not have worked for me, I would have to have a concrete amount of money that I can work with, not just simply, hours of fluctuating. I got bills to pay, man. I'm sorry, I'm not home with mommy and daddy. So, it would not have worked. It would have ultimately worked if I had a support system, but it would not have worked. So, but yeah, I vetted the city transit system and the pathway to it and things like that. And so anyway, without eating up a whole bunch of memory here, let's just say that this bus driver buddy of mine, he had a lot going for him that helped him get to where he was at. And when he was ready to segue away from school bus driving, he went to work for a bus company. And let's see, I want to say this as kindly as I possibly can. My bus driver buddy is very popular with the ladies, okay? There is no shortage of companionship. I'll just put it like that. One of such ways that he benefits from this is, female dispatchers at his job. Let's just say he benefits from that, okay? I'm a gay man. I'm an overweight gay man. I won't be wooing any women, and I'm not even looking to woo any men, okay? I don't got the, no. So, anyway, he gets the benefit from that, okay? He gets good assignments, and he doesn't understand or doesn't want to understand how he's profiting in that way. These women will help him with his taxes, help him get very healthy taxes. Nothing illegal, no false children being claimed or anything like that. But everything is legal. But needless to say, these are services that he doesn't have to pay for outside of the bedroom. Anyway, and again, when he went to change bus driving jobs, because the bus driving company that he had been with at that particular moment, you know, it's not all women. I mean, it's once he was there and he got himself established, okay, then he was up and earning his money on his own. So I'm not sitting there saying that it was all women that supported him like that, but they helped him to the path of self-sustained employment, okay? And when he went to change jobs again, because the bus company that he was with at that time, they were reducing their, because the casinos were falling asunder one by one, and well, the layoffs, massive layoffs. This is around your 08, 09 and stuff like that. So what do you call it? He goes to change, and and this time he goes to change toward, I'm just going to say, more established bus transportation. Okay, I'll just say it like that. And one of the qualifiers, there is a psychological exam test portion to be this bus driver. Now, turns out he had tried to gain employment with this outfit once before, and he was turned down. And the reason why was because he did not pass the psychological. He's an upstanding guy. He is an upstanding guy. He might not be a very good friend to me, but I'm not going to necessarily hold that against him as far as his standing in society goes, you know. And the reason why he was required to do that was because he was trying to segue at that moment straight from school bus driver to a highly sought, highly paid bus driving gig. And when that didn't work, he ended up going with the casino oriented bus company. And once he was there, he was able to and because he had been driving with that casino bus company for so long, he was, let's just say, he wasn't required to take this psychological exam. He transitioned very, very easy, very smoothly, stuff like that. So, but of course, this was all facilitated because of the people in his life, be it parents, girlfriends, you know, interpersonal connections, things like that. So these are things that I didn't have, and he would hold these things against me. He would rule me as being apathetic, not having any ambition in life, being self-destructive, not having the ambition to do better for myself. And this simply just isn't the reality at all. I just simply didn't have those opportunities. Before my disability, I wanted very much indeed to go to a trade school where I could either have a CDL license or something else. Unfortunately, the $5,000 grant was denied to me. And that would be because I was denied the opportunity to register with selective services. Like I was saying earlier on, I'm not going to get into a whole backstory over LGBT in the armed services. A lot of people will critique the Clintons for having created Don't Ask, Don't Tell, but what a lot of these young millennials don't seem to understand is that Don't Ask, Don't Tell was a huge leap forward for LGBT for its time, you know. It wasn't perfect. It was still discrimination, but it was a huge leap forward. And unfortunately, at that time, well, they didn't want me registering because I'm gay. So, and yes, I understand that there are LGBTs who serve closeted. I'm sorry, I guess I just wasn't closeted enough for them. So I was denied selective services. I don't think I never actually wanted to enlist, or I wanted to, if I wanted to enlist, any kind of notions that I had in that area, it was immediately dashed away when I was humiliated in the recruiter's office when they did not allow me to register for selective services. That's a whole nother topic, I suppose. But the result is that I was denied the $5,000 grant for tuition to do these things. See, the tuition, and it takes money, you see, when you don't have a support system. So it takes money. And of course I have rent to pay. I gotta feed myself. I gotta clothe myself. I gotta see to my transportation. You know, I didn't have a bike back then. So these are all things that my bus driver buddy never had to really worry about, you know. So there you go. So yeah, everything that he has a lot of you're black, Muslim. I've already covered this in part 1 of Civil Right Parasite. A lot of organizations went to bat for you, and a lot of people sacrificed for you, and you just simply, you know, you feast at the table of civil rights. You get to benefit from it, you know. But a person like myself, who is actually on the battle line, you know, battling for these things, my other buddy, who, let's just say, likes to play the slots, he gifted me a short Borgata stay. It's on the page, you can check it out, homeless Borgata check-in or something like that. I couldn't help but notice when I was there at the Borgata, they had a picture of 2 women kissing. I'm thinking, well, I guess maybe they're just trying to titillate heterosexual men. But on the overhead speaker, I'm hearing them make announcements, you know, come and join our LGBT, or check in during our LGBT special. I don't think they would ever actually ask anybody checking in, are you actually LGBT, you know. I guess that if you just simply checked in during that time, you would be given the discount or whatever. But the point, this was now a gaming industry that was reaching out to the LGBT community, a community that you shunned. Me, you fired. Somebody that had skills and services to offer. But you thought I wasn't professional enough. You thought that I would vex and offend some of your more conservative patrons. But of course, those conservative patrons are indeed nearing the end of their life. You know, they're going into convalescent homes, man, okay? And as we see, it is now a new generation. What is it? Mattel, they just put out series of Ken dolls with one of them has the man bun, from what I understand, you know. And hey, it's a new world. All right, this got long. I was trying to make it as short as possible, but my point here was that I did everything I could in life to give myself a good life, and there were people who would fault me for that. People who would say that I did not do enough, did not try hard enough, and that simply is not the case at all. I am sorry, I am not willing to surrender my civil rights. I will fight for them. I will die for them. And in that death, there will always be the civil right parasites who come and feast on the efforts and the labors of people like me. And of course, they will always be ready to quote Sergeant Garral of the New Jersey State Police. That's different. That's different. when they themselves are asked to stand bold and fight. Because, once again, discrimination is rearing its head. Will you stand with me, brother? Will you stand with me, sister, and fight this fight? Nah. That's different. It's different. Alright, guys, so there you go, there you have it. It's never different. You always have to make sure that they're not encroaching on you. You know, I'll finish with this real quick. I'm not going to get shut off. In the discovery packet for the Jewish Family Services, for their unlawful charging of me, in the discovery packet, they even referenced and highlighted and added into the discovery material my referencing Maurice Ogden's poem, The Hangman. And for anybody who's ever read it or familiar with it, it's basically talking about your boiled frog scenario. You may think that the things that I'm fighting for are silly and not worth it, but remember, with each encroachment on your civil rights, with each eroding of it, it only empowers and emboldens a corrupt government to come for you next. So if you don't want them coming for you, then you're going to have to stand and fight and be ready, because the hangman, he's coming for us all. Total Control 871.